Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us today for the Mcdonald Careers Showcase for urban planners and urban designers. My name is Andy Gibbons. I'm a technical director for urban design and I've been with the company for 2 years. I'm joined today by my colleagues Linnea, Rob, and Chris, who are going to talk about their experiences of working at Mcdonald, and Kirsten, who is our talent acquisition advisor. Before that, we're going to introduce you to our company purpose and what makes us all feel excited and proud and motivated to be part of Mcdonald.
Why are we here?
What inspires and motivates us in what we do every day?
We've always been driven by a passion to make people's lives better. Right back to our founders 120 years ago, who pioneered access to clean, plentiful water supplies and developed public transport, making it easier for people to live and work in cities. That spirit lives on in our purpose today.
To improve society by considering social outcomes in everything we do, relentlessly focusing on excellence and digital innovation, transforming our clients' businesses, our communities, and employee opportunities.
As a matter of principle, we believe nobody should be disadvantaged, and we know from experience that inclusive projects deliver the best results for everyone, our clients too.
That's why social outcomes, accessibility, inclusion, empowerment, resilience, and well-being are at the heart of our purpose.
At Mcdonald, we use the breadth of our expertise to see the connections between the projects we're helping to deliver and the world around them. How the infrastructure, services, the natural environment, businesses and people work together to maximize the benefit for all.
This is where digital innovation comes to the fore. Combined with deep subject knowledge, our digital skill set helps us, our clients, and partners to address old challenges better and solve new ones. To see problems and possibilities more clearly, to be more agile, efficient, and effective.
It's all powered by relentless focus on excellence. Excellent people, systems and technology all supporting innovation and creative solutions. All centered on improving society.
That's why we're here.
Stakeholder and community engagement can be a significant component of our work and woven into project development from an early stage, whether a master planning or consenting focused project. This can include engagement with community groups, town councils, disability advisory panels, and design review bodies. We're involved in master planning projects at a range of scales and in a variety of urban contexts. We adopt a multidisciplinary and collaborative approach, building teams that are tailored to a particular client requirement or a particular locality. Our master planning projects are underpinned by robust economic assessment. We build business cases that demonstrate how our proposals can deliver benefits to local communities, including jobs, housing, access to education or health facilities, or local neighbourhood facilities and open green spaces. Our planners and urban designers are able to access a wide variety of in-house specialist expertise. Our technical teams have deep subject knowledge and technical and digital capabilities in the built and natural environment, and they're there on tap to support planning and urban design projects. I'm now going to pass you over to Linnea, who's going to talk about her experiences of working at Mcdonald.
Hi everyone, I'm Linnea Sotomark and I'm an urban design graduate at Mcdonald. After finishing school in Sweden, I moved to Scotland to start my university studies. I studied geography at Heriot-Watt University, and following my undergraduate degree, I studied a Masters of Science in Urban Design at the University of Strathclyde. I really enjoyed the course, in particular the studio working sessions, which enabled me to develop my design skills using a range of software including Adobe Creative Suite, CAD and SketchUp. My dissertation, it focused on green infrastructure and its role in improving health when applied to retrofitting projects. All in all, I feel like my master's really helped me develop the basic skills I needed for this role. I've now been working as a graduate urban designer at Mcdonald for 5 months, and so far I'm loving it. So I'm currently working on a range of projects, including transit-oriented developments, active travel network integration, residential development, urban context analysis, and providing support on urban graphics. For my first project, I was tasked with supporting my team with a conceptual master plan and some options for a site in Brentford within a flood zone 3 area. A slightly lengthier project included a placemaking assessment of major streets in Newport city centre linking to the central railway station. This included a really problematic piece of highway infrastructure that separates part of the city centre from its riverfront. I got to go on my first site visit and collect and map key characteristics of the area and collaborate with other teams at Mcdonald. So this included transport planning and highway engineering teams in different parts of the country. And I feel like it really helped me to expand my understanding of how they work and how urban design skills can input into this type of project. We were able to develop a range of strategic placemaking principles to assist the optioneering process. Currently, I'm supporting work for external public realm improvements for Cardiff Central Station. My involvement so far has included urban context analysis, preparation of plans, research, and helping to organize and facilitate stakeholder engagement meetings. I was able to use Miro, which is a digital whiteboard tool, and it was a new experience for me, but I feel like I did learn quite a lot from it. So what attracted me to Mott MacDonald? I was really intrigued by Mott MacDonald's purpose, considering social outcomes and commitment to sustainability, as most of my independent research in uni aligned with their values. Secondly, the training and support and mentorship was also really important to me. Since starting, I've been given support with the process of becoming a chartered member of the RTPI. This is really important to me and will help me progress my career within the company. I was also interested in the work culture, and I was pleasantly surprised at how many opportunities there were to get involved in sports, charities, socials, and CPD events. So in terms of my onboarding experience, I started in June earlier this year, and at that time, our offices were not at full capacity. So most of my working was from home. This was not really necessarily a problem, as I feel like Malt's IT was fantastic, and we've had like frequent catch-ups throughout the week that are both formal and informal. So that really helped. Um, I started with training, and then I moved on to the familiarization of relevant documents and projects that we were working on at the time. And then I finally got started on the projects. I felt like that was a really good way of getting settled into the role and learn how the team works. Since offices have opened up, there have been quite a lot of opportunities to work collaboratively in the office, but also attend some social events with the rest of the office. Most importantly, I'm quite looking forward to getting to know more of the people, particularly the graduate group, which I feel like is quite well organized and supported by the company as well. So that's it from me. I'll now hand over to my co-worker, Rob.
Hi everyone, good afternoon, and thanks very much, Linnea, for your little presentation there. My name is Rob Chiatz. I'm a senior urban designer at Mott MacDonald. I'm based between the Cardiff and Bristol offices, and I joined Mott's just over 12 months ago, so I'm still feeling fairly new and learning the ropes, although I've had a bit more of a chance to settle in. I'd like to tell you a bit about my background and how I got to the current point in my career. So I started off back in 2000 studying city and regional planning at Cardiff University, which was a really interesting course and allowed me to move on to a year in industry. a small company based in Edinburgh. So this was a really small firm with less than 10 people, highly focused on town planning. It was a really great year and a really great experience, and it helped me to learn that I was really interested in the design side of planning and that I wanted to be an urban designer. So my next step was to go back to university and specialise in urban design through a master's course in 2004 to 2005. From there, I moved on to a landscape architecture practice, again, a small company that was heavily focused on design and particularly residential developments. It was a really steep learning curve to be in a design studio environment, and a great opportunity to learn a lot from landscape architects in the way that they work and the way they undertake design. So my next step was to move to a local authority, run the Cynon County Borough Council in South Wales. This was a really different type of experience, basically on the other side of the telescope, trying to shape the design of places through the generation of policy, through development management tools, and also through working with the council's regeneration team to deliver projects on the ground. So through that, I was able to see a major project for a town centre public realm redevelopment through right from the inception and design phases through to it being constructed and delivered on the ground. From there, I moved back into the private sector to Arup, a large multidisciplinary and multinational company. This really gave an opportunity to be more directly involved in design again, to really work on a very large range and scale of projects across different geographies, and to work for a mix of different types of clients in the public and private sector. So up to that point, I just wanted to show that there hasn't necessarily been a very linear route to my career. I've moved to lots of different types of organisations with different types of functions, and I'm really pleased I've had the chance to experience that. So I've worked with different organisations, different sectors, different size companies, and really experienced very different ways of working. So finally, around 12 months ago, I joined Mcdonald. This offered me a really great opportunity to continue to diversify my career, to work on a big range of different projects, and to move up into a more senior role. So now I'd just like to talk about some of the experiences and first impressions I've had of Mcdonald in the first 12 months that I've been working here. So firstly, I'd like to talk about the company philosophy. So Mcdonald has a really strong philosophy based around the idea of creating places for people, as we've seen in some of the videos earlier in the webinar. They're really focused on addressing some of the key current challenges we face around sustainability, and particularly the climate emergency, and very heavily focused on delivering positive social outcomes through their work. So Mcdonald are an employee-owned company, which really allows us to focus on delivering those positive outcomes rather than simply being driven by a profit motive. And this really chimes with my own values and means I can be proud of the work that I'm doing on a day-to-day basis. So secondly, one of the significant advantages of working for a large company like Mcdonald is the scale and range of projects that I've been able to work on in the last 12 months. So this has included working on two major transport hubs in the UK, based in Cardiff and Bristol, and the latter of those included a 130-hectare regeneration project looking at transforming some inner city industrial areas in central Bristol. And that's one of the largest inner city regeneration projects in the UK. So it's been really amazing to be able to be a part of that. Thirdly, I'd like to talk about the idea of growing the offer. So whilst it's a large company, by no means is it a case of being a small cog in a big machine. I've become a key part of a relatively small team, and this means I've had the chance to really directly shape how we work, the types of services that we offer, and the types of projects that we pursue and work on. And finally, the working culture has been a really significant part of my first year's experience. So this includes a really great chance to collaborate with people from all sorts of different disciplines and backgrounds, and to learn new things from doing that on an everyday basis. The way we work is very collaborative, and that means that my input is valued and that I have an opportunity to shape the direction of the projects I'm working on. In addition, there's a really strong culture of work-life balance and an expectation that we work flexibly and in ways that support our own personal health and well-being. And finally, there's a really strong social network within Mcdonald, so it's a great chance to meet a wide variety of really great people. So why am I still here and what makes me want to stay? In some ways, this is a bit of a repetition of the previous slide, but really it's focused around the scale and variety of projects. So it's the great chance to be involved in some really significant and high profile projects in different locations, meaning that every day, every week, every month can bring a different experience. It's working with purpose, so the chance to undertake work that's driven by our values and the genuine opportunity to try to create positive outcomes for our clients, for the environment and for our communities. It's the opportunity to learn from colleagues. Every day can be a school day, and we can grow our experience, whether that's learning about the design of rail infrastructure or trying to solve complex problems relating to flood resilience. And finally, it's the opportunity to work with really great people. So I've really enjoyed meeting all the colleagues that I've met so far. And although we're a large multinational company, it's really easy to get to know people, to find friendships and to find support within the company. So I hope that's given you a good idea of my first impressions of working with Mcdonald's. I'd like to hand you over now to my colleague Chris to talk about himself.
Thank you, Rob. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. My name's Chris Clark, and I'm an associate town planner at Mcdonald. I take on the role of a team leader of a regional town planning team based in Cardiff and Bristol. So I'm first going to talk about my career path, how I got from university to where I am today, and after completing my degree in town planning at Cardiff University in 2001, I actually spent a couple of years doing different jobs unrelated to my degree and my current career, and working abroad as well. And that just demonstrates that some people might feel pressure about going into their career as soon as they graduate, but there are different opportunities out there. And I think those years spent doing other things really helped me to focus and understand what I really wanted to do with my working life. And in 2006, I came back to the UK and I started my career in the public sector. Firstly working for the local planning authority in Portsmouth, then moving back to Wales to Rhondda and Taff, and then moving on to Merthyr Tydfil Council. I actually undertook a part-time master's degree whilst working at Rhondda and Taff Council, and then I started to specialise from practicing in kind of general development management into conservation, heritage and design, and I took on the role of conservation officer at Merthyr Tydfil County Borough Council. After a couple of years working in Merthyr, I then decided that for me I wanted to try the private sector, and I started working for a company called WSP. I worked for them for about 5 years, gradually kind of building up my experience and responsibility and seniority within WSP. My 5 years at WSP included a 2-year secondment with Network Rail, which greatly added to the variety of work that I undertook, but also gave me a chance to focus on the rail sector, of which I enjoy and continue to work within that sector at the moment. And then earlier this year in June, I then moved over to Mcdonald and took on the role, as I said, of team leader of a small planning team based within Cardiff and Bristol, and that has really allowed me to develop and start developing my skills as a team leader in terms of the kind of pastoral care of other people and resourcing workloads. So I've been here about 5 months, similar amount of time as Linnea, and I'm really impressed. I really enjoy working here. As Rob mentioned before, the fact that the company is employee owned does, I think, give Mcdonald an edge in that respect. It definitely, I think, feels into the culture of work. I think the office environment is very friendly. It's very relaxed. It feels like a big family compared to where I've worked before, and that's an aspect to the company that I enjoy. the variety of projects that you work on, especially compared from public sector where I started out my career, is really attractive to me, and I really enjoy that. And I mean the variety of different kind of sectors you can work in and different kind of tasks that you can do, but also the scale of the projects. So on some very large projects, you can be one of a large team of people doing a specific input, but on the other end of the scale, you've got very small projects that you will be somebody at a more senior level would be managing, and you would take on all sorts of different responsibilities, not just the input of town planning role, but actually managing kind of the client care, the financial aspect, the resourcing of the project, and that is something that appeals to me as well. The bottom right of this screen, I've put colleagues down. I've only been here 5 months. I feel as though I know as many people in Mcdonald as I did in my previous company during a 5-year period there. It's a very friendly place to work. There's people, so I know people in the office very well now, but also because of the variety of projects we work on, there's people scattered across the UK that I feel that I'm quite close to now. And it's an opportunity to learn and develop skills as well. So for me in particular, taking on the role of a team leader, I'm able to learn those kind of roles and develop my career in that way. And if we move on to the next slide, this slide then is kind of demonstrating to everybody out there the kind of skills and expertise and experience that we're looking for in Mcdonald. So in terms of urban design and town planning, we are growing. That's very appealing being here, and it means that we do at the moment have some live job applications out there. So please do look at our website, at the careers pages, and there's a search bar there. If it's town planner role that you're looking for, type in the words town planner. You'll see we've got a variety of roles across the country at the moment, and across a range of grades, from grad going through to more senior roles as well. And we're looking for people that have expertise, skills, and are interested in kind of the fields there that are on the screen at the moment. So problem solving, people skills, engagement. A lot of town planning and urban design work is about engaging other stakeholders, engaging the client, but also engaging local communities, so speaking to people who are affected by the work that we do. And at this point, I'm going to bring Andy back into the call, who's going to touch on a few more kind of skills and expertise we're looking for in the field of urban design in particular.
Thanks very much, Chris. So yes, we're interested in hearing from urban designers at all levels, junior, mid-level and senior practitioners. You'll have a degree in landscape architecture, town planning, engineering or architecture, and you'll have a postgraduate qualification in urban design, a diploma or an MA. We're looking for urban designers with good technical skills, certainly expertise in the Adobe Creative Suite, for example, CAD, SketchUp, also good conceptual design skills, including hand sketching. We're looking for experience in spatial frameworks, master plans, urban design guidance, prepared in relation to sites in entire areas, including town and city centres, regeneration and growth areas, and also experience, particularly with the more experienced and interested candidates, in working for public and private sector clients. So I'm now going to hand over to Kirsten, who's going to take us through more of the detail, should you want to follow up from this point. Thanks, Kirsten.
Thanks, Andy. Hi, everyone. I'm Kirsten, and I'm one of the Senior Talent Acquisitions Advisors here at Mcdonald. I'm going to speak to you about our application process. The first thing you need to do is visit the careers section of our website. You'll find that easily just by Googling Mcdonald Careers. That will take you straight to the careers page. You can then search for the roles that are of interest to you. So, for example, town planner, transport planner, urban planner, etc. If you don't find a role that you want to apply for straight away, you can create an account and set up job alerts. This means you'll be notified when a job that matches your interest becomes available. If you do find a role that you want to apply for, the application process is quite simple. It's an online application form that takes about 12 minutes. It's desktop and mobile friendly. You're asked to attach a copy of your CV, and you also have the option to attach a cover letter. If I could give you any top tips, it would be tailor your CV for each individual application that you make, because as part of the recruitment team, we have to assess CVs against essential and desirable criteria from the job advert. So make sure you've read that and you've mentioned everything that's required that you have in your CV. Covering letters are optional, but it is a great tool to support your application. You can explain where you came across the vacancy, add as much detail as to the reasons why you're interested in the role, and any relevant information that you might want to add that doesn't appear on your CV. And again, make sure you tailor your covering letter for each role you're applying for. And make sure you answer all the application questions. So there's questions there about availability, right to work, salary expectations, and there's free text boxes. We would encourage you to answer as much as possible rather than just yes, no, and not applicable. Once we receive your application, one of the talent acquisition advisors will review, and they will get back to you either via email or by telephone. And at that point, you can request feedback. I should also mention the process is slightly different for graduates. When you go into our careers page, you will see there's a section for early careers, and that's where you'll see all our graduate programs listed and how to apply. And that is basically, in a nutshell, our application process. If you feel you're not ready to apply and you'd like to have an initial chat, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. Or if you see a specific role advertised that you are interested in, on the right-hand side of the advert, you'll see the recruiter contact, and you can connect with them on LinkedIn as well. So yeah, I hope that helped, but please feel free to get in touch if you've got any other questions on the application process. I'll now pass you to Rob for the Q&A session.
Hi everyone, thank you for that. I think that was really interesting. So yeah, if you do have any questions, just pop them in the chat bar just down the side. Don't think we've got any for the minute. I mean, there is one that is quite popular. What about if people aren't from the UK and want to apply? So if we have any questions around visas? And yeah.
Nothing at all. Well, I'll just mention that, yeah, we are a UK sponsor. If people are applying from overseas, we do have the ability to sponsor visas. So please don't, let that put you off applying.
Awesome. Cool. We do have one. I can't read the name on there, but could I please get a LinkedIn contact? Kirsten, could pop yours in the chat.
Yep.
And then that'd be the best way you could get in contact and have any questions.
No problem at all.
So we have Selene. So thanks for the presentation. Oh, wondering if the company welcomes urban designers without UK experience. So Kirsten, again, I think similar.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we look for the best person for the job. So it's not always UK experience isn't always necessary. That's something that, can be trained. As long as you've got relevant experience from the job description, and you meet the other requirements, then, that's absolutely fine.
I would just add to that our urban design growth that we are beginning to see wouldn't necessarily just be focused on the UK. So we undertake projects across the world and therefore different geographies. I think it's a case of just looking for the specific role on when it comes up. And it'll be quite clear in that description about whether it's very much more focused on the UK or whether it's focused overseas. Certainly, gaining a familiarity with the UK planning system is pretty important. You can come with an appreciation of that, but also that can be partly trained and acquired as we go along. But certainly, all of our work in the UK interrelates with the regulatory planning system that operates in the country, sorry, and also the differences in the geographies within the UK. So planning system in Wales and Scotland and England, but having slight differences, but that's an added complication. But I wouldn't want that to put off a talented applicant. So please, yes, be interested. Thank you.
I don't think we have any other questions, but I mean, actually, Andy, there's one that I think it's quite common at the minute, and it's McDonald's agile working policy and how that actually fits into your working day.
Yeah, well, obviously we've all lived through a very strange time, haven't we, with the pandemic? And McDonald's have been absolutely fantastic in providing and ensuring we've got all the IT we need to be able to work remotely. As an urban design team, we work between two cities in my team, between Bristol and Cardiff. And we spent a lot of time online using things like Teams, for example, using Miro digital whiteboards to facilitate collaborative working. As the office now starts to fill up, we go back to higher levels of occupancy, then we'll be working more as a team in a collaborative sense, in a studio sense. More opportunities to talk about projects together, to bounce ideas, etc. Our week can be quite contrasting in that there are periods of the week, for example, when members of the team are working from home, they have specific tasks, they're writing a report and need to get their heads down. There are other times when we're organising workshops and working with stakeholders and parts of client teams. And there are other parts of the week when we're on site and members of the team are out gathering information, doing extensive site visits, whether in our particular locality or travelling out to sites in different parts of the country. So a lot of variety. But it is the case, certainly with urban design work, that there are often very similar phases to projects, that sort of context analysis, understanding the problem, liaising and engaging with stakeholders, developing ideas, translating those into options, and then starting to draw those up and visualize those. So yeah, I think a good balance that we can offer.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And I think I have a question. It's probably for Linnea, Rob, and Chris. It's probably the best advice for newbies, for anybody who wants to either start in their career or wanted to join McDonald's. Probably, if you want to come in and give your best advice.
Shall I kick off? Yeah, just as a relative newbie. So best advice once someone started here, I think in the current climate, I think utilize the opportunity to go into the office. So carrying on from what Andy was just saying, really, and you'll find that it's hard to identify who does what job in the office, given the way the offices are generally laid out, which is not dissimilar from lots of other companies like ours. There's a lot of desks, a lot of white walls, and it's hard to identify different teams and also kind of seniorities there of people within those teams. So best advice, come in the office, get known around the office, join in with social activities being arranged by the people in the office, the social, the sports and social teams that each office has, and say hello to people who you're sitting next to. You never know what networks you'll set up that will help you in your career going forward, and you never know what friendships you'll gain from that as well. So that'd be my piece.
Right. Thanks, Chris. Rob, Linnea, do you have?
Yeah, I'll have a quick stab. But I would say, not dissimilarly, but be open to new opportunities and experiences. So, as we've said, Mott McDonald, it's a huge company working across a huge range of different disciplines, and even within a small geography, you'll have an opportunity to work on lots of different things. So, if you come in to a company like Mott McDonald with a really open mind, you can meet lots of different people. You can learn lots of new things. You can work on lots of different really interesting projects. Sometimes just by putting your hand in the air and saying, yeah, I'd like to help out with that, you can get drawn into projects that you may otherwise not have been involved in. So a really nice example of that recently was being asked to help out with active travel behaviour change project, and really getting involved in some engagement with key stakeholders and trying to help them to build a way forward to promote active travel behaviour change. So it's something I wouldn't have done if I didn't happen to have just been in the right place at the right time. So yeah, if you have the right attitude, you can really get involved in interesting stuff here.
Awesome. Thanks, Rob. And I think if we have no more questions, we can finish the webinar here. Just wanted to say thank you to all the presenters and everybody who's been with us. But yeah, just thank you very much, and for the next one, bye.